Welcome to Beyond Co-Sell. This is a show where we get into what actually drives success in the AWS ecosystem. No fluff, no partner speak, just honest conversations with the people who've built it, broken it, and figured out what works.
Normally the kid in me, the 20 years ago, would have been like,
F you.
freaking like,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
you just learn wisdom, experience, and time. Like there's some, as you're young, you don't understand what that means. As you get older, you start to understand what that means. You just
Yeah.
see, I see the forest through the trees. I don't love that analogy, but I think that's what makes these conversations and my skill set different. In fact, even yesterday, I talked to someone at AWS who's been there for a long time, and he just wanted to pick my brain about a couple things.
Mm.
But like it was a huge compliment. He's like, I still always talk and come back to you because I talk to a lot of your peers. You're like the only one, not only, but you're like one of the only ones that know how to like navigate your business, the people, the intricacies. Again, we were talking about advanced PLG and back office and front office and it's like, oh yeah, it is really complicated. But what did I do last night? Had a problem, built a end-to-end form to automation process. So like I just realized like not only can I just have a call today with my CRO and chief product officer and like get everyone to agree and I talk about translating this and that and just like, all right, here's the plan. And then literally go build, not code based, I'm not using NNN or whatever, but like build the entire process and automation so that these things that would normally cause me or my team a lot of extra work, I've just shortened all the work required to do that.
Nice.
And then I've already iterated on it twice because I was like, oh yeah, once it's done with that, wait, why don't I just do this and this? Because like normally I'd have to do that manually, remember later. Nah, just have the system do it all. So and it
Nice.
goes back to again, we could free talk, but yeah, Nikolay's was great. I
What
can
did,
start tinkering more
yeah,
with
what did you
sugar
think of that?
and
Did you have a look at that?
I
Did you
didn't
have
look
a
at the code. I didn't look at the skill yet.
Yeah.
But I still don't go straight into Claude at the beginning of my day. I
Mm.
haven't reprogrammed myself to go there first, but I am looking at my daily briefs and stuff like that because I have taught it to catch all that stuff. And I still feel I'm training someone to see how I work, how my voice is, all of that stuff. It's still not good enough yet for me to use, but you're right. Ironically enough, I was building a co-sell skill. It's actually built. I just need to keep tweaking it. And I needed access to different, better data. But I am teaching it that. So I think this is timely to see what's in this skill versus what my skill does. But I already know like the tools that I use are different, the tools that, so it's always going to be like which repositories is it looking in? And then Salesforce is a perfect example. I can have Claude go into Salesforce, but we take a lot of Salesforce raw and put it all into Snowflake and we built like a context layer too. So like I was told like, no, point it at Snowflake,
Yeah.
disconnect your Salesforce and it'll give you the same data, but we built like a context layer around it. So that's better for you. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try that. So then I have to get access to Snowflake and no big deal. But
Mm.
the thing too is like what I found in Salesforce, I know how to solve. Most people don't. Because when I'm asking Claude to go into Salesforce, I'm also, in another panel, I'm in the Salesforce database. So I'm also telling it exactly which records and which
Yeah.
fields go to this object, look at these fields, do that. So I'm almost using SQL has its own query language, but it's like SOQL. But the point is like I'm almost using the query language, but I'm just telling Claude, do this without the select this from here, do that. I know how to write SQL, but I'm basically just telling it the SQL that I need. But the SQL that I need is way more complicated than I could remember how to write. Joins, calcs, like a bunch of, I don't remember how to do that stuff. I'd have to go look it up or I'd have to write Claude code to write me the SQL code. But I'm like, I don't need to. I can just tell it what I'm looking for, what I need, and where to go find it so that you're using, like for us, we don't use the amount field. We use like other custom fields for dollar values, MRR, whatever. But like it won't know that. It has a generic knowledge. So it's going to naturally gravitate to amount. So I have to tell it, no, you're looking at this field, that field, and I can explain that's what these fields do. So I guess the point is like we've been talking a lot about this.
I am.
This stuff is so effing powerful to someone like me who was systems process minded. I don't have ninja skills in SQL. I was never a DBA, but I was a sysadmin and I've sold tools that installed on SQL, Oracle. So I knew it enough, but I could sit over the shoulder of a DBA. And I was like, I could kind of speak your language. I don't know how to write that stuff, but you do. But I can tell you what we need. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So I realized this. It always goes back to my time as an SE, like for a long time being an SE, because people in the real world used to ask me, like, what do you do? And I'd kind of explain it. It's like right over their head. And I would kind of use the analogy that it's like I play a doctor on TV, like the show ER was really popular, right? And I would say, oh, I'm like, maybe not George Clooney, although I'm gray like him now. But I'm like, I'm like, it's like I play a doctor on TV. Like I say all the right words, I got all the lines, it sounds like I'm a doctor, but none of those guys are doing surgery and they're not real doctors. And I always say like the architects and the admins and the engineers that I work with, like they're the real surgeons. They know how to do surgery. I just know how to speak the language.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
No,
find that
that's
that
true.
still comes those skills are paying dividends my entire career. So
So I've got a question. I've got a question for you because we've doubled down into AI a lot, right, over the last few episodes.
yeah,
And there's something that obviously prior to this WhatsApp chat, you were talking about using one of the three PIs AI. Now, give
it's
a
it's
comparison.
good.
Would
It's
you?
getting better. I will
Okay.
say it's
Yeah.
good. It's getting better.
Yeah.
I remember what I said the last time where it gave me the wrong answer, and it did.
Yeah.
Like, there's no substitution for that. And if I didn't know better, I would have taken that as gospel. But there are parts of it that are much better. And even like to the conversation of the scoring, the real point is once upon a time, you would do things to a black box and there was never coaching. What it's really impactful and good at is coaching. Hey, if you do this thing, you're probably going to get a 40. But if you make these changes, it's going to go up. What does it go up to? If Nikolay can get an 80 or whatever, awesome.
$85,
I know it can
85.
do, I know it
That's
can
brilliant.
hire. I know the guys at AWS, the teams that built this, we've talked to them, right? We brought them on to Pecan. Like
Yeah.
Tom and them have talked about this. He knows that it can get higher. But what it did force me to do was like, what am I missing? Oh, that's right. I'm not doing everything I possibly can to make my submissions either score higher or just be the right data, the right relevancy, a lot of that. And so hats off. I try to stay neutral, but hats off to my 3PI vendor and others that I've worked with in the past for they're going to be my conduit to probably using a lot of these agents and AI because I can build stuff direct,
Yeah.
but it's more work to build stuff direct. And I still have that. So now I try to not do things in two or three different places. I try to just go all in with one thing. And of course, it's like, I need to build a workflow. Oh, I can build it in there or I can build it over here. And so there always are going to be like this thing that I built. Where's it? Where's the engine? Is it in the 3PI or is it in my other workflow tool?
Yeah.
So I think you end up with a catalog and a registry of what and where things are over time, like your SOP standard operating procedures. But I'm not negative on it. I think it's actually very good. It's just still like many things. It's like RAI, we talk about it. It's like a brand new EA or a brand new kid. It's a brand new intern, right?
Yeah.
Smart, hungry, has no business context, doesn't know anything about Kong or alliances. And so you just have to be really patient and teach it.
Yeah.
That's
So
all.
I've got a question off the back of that, right? Because what, probably about 3 or 4 episodes ago, we were talking about how much we trusted the agents. And you're pretty skeptical back then. Do you
Yeah,
feel it's changed since a few episodes ago? So we're talking what, a couple of 6 weeks ago now.
that was, yeah. I mean, there's always going to be an instance, right? That instance was I was using a program and I asked the agent, look at this deal and tell me what programs, that's one of the things. It'll tell you, oh, this opportunity, whatever programs, right? And it uses data, whatever. And it told me that, like whatever the programs or whatever wasn't. Anyhow, I challenged it and I said, what about this thing, this program? And I said, no, it doesn't qualify, whatever. Point was, I just wasn't seeing what I expected, but I waited a little bit of time and then I saw what I expected and it went through it funded, so that agent's answer was wrong. But remember, the agent is a conduit for the LLM. The LLM is looking at its available data. You and I use Gemini, OpenAI, and Claude, right? So I use all three. They're always wrong. And I always challenge them. And it always comes back and says, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, then
Sorry,
why'd you
I
give me the wrong
presumed.
answer?
I presumed based on
So
my information. Yeah.
correct. So I think I can't, it is probably wrong. The good news is you and I have enough experience to know that it was wrong. But in this case, I wasn't getting what I expected. So I leaned on that and then it gave me the wrong answer. But it's no different than any other LLM or AI that I'm using. So it just tells you like the state of the state. So will I keep using it? Maybe as a coach, co-pilot, second opinion. Will I trust it to 99th percentile of accuracy? No. But I don't trust any of that stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
why even now I'm not using all the tools because I don't think the tools are right. And I build deterministic things because deterministic things are always right. I complement deterministic things with AI, which even if it's right or wrong 20% of the time, it's not going to screw up my deterministic outcome. Maybe a couple words are off or a summary doesn't like hit the bill. So I'm merging them together, but I still think in deterministic outcomes.